what is your stance on developer unofficial packages?
Unofficial
Like
packages. Hmm.
in the case of OBS and bottles and that stuff.
Uh, is there an official package that exists? That is my first question.
Like OBS, for
Like
example.
OBS.
OBS has
Okay.
two packages, the Debian and the
Mhm.
Flatpak.
Okay, in that case, um, it's sort of a mixed bag. If the package is something not available on your system, so OBS prior to having the official Flatpak, the only official package was the Deb. So the only official
Mhm.
supported platform was Debian or was Ubuntu. In that case, free reign, do whatever you want to do. But when we are talking about a package that is available on on FlatHub through Flatpak as an app image, I'm generally less in favor of a snap. If there is a application where the official distribution is a snap, I typically just don't use the application. But when there is a official package available, for the most part, I'm going to use it. Now, that doesn't mean that I think everybody should. I will encourage people to use it, especially if it is the best experience in using the application, like it is for bottles, like it is for OBS. But when it's an official package, but the experience is basically identical. Steam is a good example of this. The only official
Yeah.
supported platform from Steam outside of SteamOS is Ubuntu, but the Steam package behaves identically on every distro. So in the end, for that, I just don't really care anyway.
Well, that brings me to my stance on
Hmm.
that. My stance on that is exactly like yours. Uh, Steam, yes, except don't use Steam as a Flatpak, please, because
Yeah,
it
the devs
requires
have
extra steps.
mentioned that. And
Yeah,
don't use it as a snap first order. Don't use it as a Flatpak second order. The Flatpak is better than the snap, but it's still not great. The sandboxing gets in the way of the Steam sandboxing working. There's a bunch of things that break. I believe VR doesn't work in the Flatpak either. If you don't use VR, obviously it doesn't matter. But there's just a bunch of random little things that don't work. And if you have issues with the Flatpak, obviously not made by the Steam developers. So if it's an issue caused by the Flatpak, they won't be able to do anything with the problem.
yeah. So when it comes to Flatpaks,
Mm.
I tell the users look at the button underneath it. If it's blue that and has a check mark, it's by the developers, so you're
Mm.
gonna have a better experience. If you see an orange unverified badge, use it with caution.
Mm.
I don't tell users to not use it. I tell them use it with caution. Zero Linux only, for example, Zero Linux for the Flatpak packages only includes packages that are verified.
Okay.
In I only select the verified tools. A lot of users come to me, they say, I like Flatpaks. I want to use only native packages. I'm like, good luck with OBS.
Mm.
The first example I say is good luck with OBS. You're gonna install it, and you will end up having to install 1,000 different other plugins and outside packages just to get it to work the way the Flatpak version works.
Mm.
So good luck with that. I just don't tell them not to. I just tell them and do not report any issues coming from the native package to developers because you are going to be ignored.
Mm.
Do not complain for being ignored because you're using an unofficial package. It's like me buying a Ferrari and coming to you, the Hyundai company, asking you to repair my Ferrari.
Mm.
It's not going to work. You don't have compatible toolkits and tools to fix my Ferrari.
Right.
So it's the same situation with official packages versus unofficial packages.
Mm.
So this whole situation with Fedora and their own FlatHub, I do not agree with the idea of them removing the Fedora FlatHub remote from Fedora.
Mm.
I would agree to I think it was Neil Gumpa who mentioned it, is give the user the choice, a pop-up asking the user, where do you want to install it from? You want to install it from the official, from FlatHub, from Fedora remote, or your Flatpak remote, or as a native package, as a RPM. That would be a better idea. Not and including this whole idea with store front ends or GUIs, where you have to click on the install button for a drop down to show. Users are not going to see that. Users are just going to click install, and whatever is the default will install. So that's not the right way of doing things. You have to create a pop-up so it's in the user's front view as to where they want to install the package from. And it's good to mention in that pop-up that the official package is from FlatHub, so they put in parentheses official, from the Fedora remote unofficial, and from the Fedora repos unofficial. So
I think it'll be a much better improvement, actually. Yeah, I actually hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that I might have to pass that by some people.
Yeah, it's a great idea. This is what I do with Zero Learning in the toolkit. Like sometimes I understand users. I'm a person that sees. I put myself in the user's shoes. I'm like, there are some users who would hate Flatpak. Understandable. They've seen negative, they've seen positive, they don't know how to make their mind up and whatever. So whenever there's various versions of a package, sometimes in the toolkit, the terminal is going to prompt the user. Do you want it as a Flatpak? Do you want it as a native package, or you want it from the AUR? So I offer the choice to the user. But I don't do it a lot because that can get overwhelming to users who are still discovering Arch. So I just do it in the little and few areas where it's necessary. But I offer the choice, and I tell the users in parentheses official supported package, unofficial unsupported, unofficial unsupported. So that way they would understand, they get an idea of which one to choose. Sometimes, even though they hate Flatpaks, like in the case of OBS, they have to use the Flatpak version in case they want a more complete package. And my toolkit does OBS quite differently than others. My toolkit, when you select to install OBS, it installs all the necessary plugins from FlatHub, because not every store front end offers the plugins in view. Users will have to really look on the page and see all the way at the bottom that they could install plugins from FlatHub.
Yeah.
So the way Zero Linux does it is it actually installs OBS DroidCam plugin for people who want to use their Android phones as a camera with V4L2 loopback. And it includes the NDI plugin, all the necessary plugins to get a more complete experience. So, and then I link the users. If you want to install more plugins, it opens a web page to FlatHub, OBS page on FlatHub, and on the plugins page, so they see what other plugins they can install. But all from FlatHub, because they're all officially supported by over there.
Wait, I didn't even realize there was a page on. Wait,
It's all the way. If you go to OBS on FlatHub, you scroll all the way down, you see the plugins.
I see it now. I've never noticed this was here.
See, that illustrates my point exactly. It's not. It's very hidden. That's why Zero Linux installs all the necessary ones to get a complete experience, then offers an option to include any extra ones. Like there's a audio plugin collection that I discovered on FlatHub for people who like to do audio production as well as video production. There's a total of 780 audio plugins that people have no clue about. If I had the toolkit in front of me, I don't have a computer in front of me. I'm talking to you on an iPad. But the audio plugins are way too many. It's like VST plugins in audio production suites. They're like VST plugins. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Those are the 700 that FlatHub supports.
Mhm.
So I include a page to that just so people have an idea that they exist. But I don't install them. Imagine installing 20 gigabytes worth of audio plugins. Those are audio filters, basically, for OBS, compatible with OBS. So there's that. So yeah, in those cases, I only offer the flat pack because I know, and I am part of I am on the Discord server of OBS. So whenever users report issues with OBS to me, directly to me, I send them, I relay them to the OBS team. But yeah, this is one rare case where I only offer the flat pack. And as for Steam, I don't offer the Flatpak. I just offer the native package because I include with it Mango HUD and all the necessary tools for FPS counters and such things. So yeah, I do it the CachyOS style, where I created a meta package that installs Steam, Mango HUD, overlay, and all that. So, and when it comes to Lutris Heroic, only the flat packs, because those are the supported official versions, especially bottles. I don't want to go through the Fedora shenanigans with the bottles team, especially that I report issues directly to the bottles team.
Yeah, that's yeah. The bottle situation is a mess.